Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can everybody hear me at the back? Just about. Okay. Good evening. Tonight we are looking to inform you of our exciting plans and projects that we are scoping and delivering over the next few years. We want to engage you on our plans. We want to capture feedback. What is good? What's not so good? How can we make them better? What would you like to see in and around our town? Through the centre of the room today, we have our neighbourhood development plan consultation. It's a bit of a boring part of our night, but it's actually a really important part of the work that we've been doing over the last 5, 6, 7 years. When I say it's a boring part, there's a national planning policy framework that I can bore you with, and I can see someone else in the room that knows all about it as well. But essentially, the government sets a policy around planning. They tell Cornwall you build 50,000 homes by 2030. Cornwall tell Torpoint you build 350 homes by 2030. Torpoint need to decide where do we build those homes, what is fit for us, where do we need our sports facilities, what other facilities and infrastructure around the town do we need. So we have written what they refer to as a neighbourhood development plan. As you can imagine, that planning policy needs to be written in such a way that developers understand it and can deliver aspects of it. So in a boring sense, it's there in the middle. It tells you around our policies. There's structured feedback that we need to capture, so it will all be online. There's QR codes, so you can access the website, but the feedback against individual policies, and I really do encourage you, please do that information, because it really helps provide some, it really shows the provenance of our plan, that it's come from the community and it's shaped from the community. So every comment that you provide through that online portal, we will respond to and we will incorporate in our plan. So the neighbourhood plan is the really important part of tonight. Have a look at those boards, go online, have a read, and please provide feedback. As part of that neighbourhood plan then, we created a vision a few years ago, back in 2015, which was all built from the community up. You told us what you wanted in the town. We created a vision with objectives that I'll go through in a second. But from there, over the last few years, we have been delivering aspects of that vision. When you go into our library and you see now that it's a thriving community hub where people can come for help and support, as well as get a book and learn about the heritage and history of Torpoint. That's all come from our vision. We'll tell you a bit about that next door. Also then, when you go around the town, you see our play parks. Our play parks are completely different to where they were 2 years ago. Hopefully everybody's been to visit them with their children, with their grandchildren, with their friends. Our play parks has had a significant investment. Working in partnership with Cornwall Council, the Town Council have taken on the play parks. We have invested over £100,000 in new equipment, and we will continually invest in those play parks. Taking them from Cornwall and bringing them into Torpoint means they're now under local control. They are there because we want them there. They are in the way they are because we have chosen it that way. Stand by, we've received them, but over the next few years we will carry on developing them. As a Town Council then, we've also taken on our tennis courts, and in the back corner you can hear about some of our exciting plans with our tennis courts. We are about to secure about £50,000 from the Lawn Tennis Association to resurface them. Resurface them, provide accessible access into the courts so they're easier to get to. There will also be a booking facility online, and it will all be run by the Lawn Tennis Association and connect with the national framework of tennis courts. So whether you're playing in Devonport Park or in Torpoint, you go on the same platform and you access it. There's a small fee, but what that small fee, £6 I think it is, that £6 will give you an hour's tennis. We are also looking at how we can make free tennis for all at various times, so it's not just those that are on the platform. The other thing that you'll find out tonight about is over there around the all-weather pitch, a 3G 9v9 project that the school are looking to work with the town council on. It's really quite exciting. For years we've said we want an all-weather pitch, we want a swimming pool as well, but that's not tonight. Probably not next week either. But the all-weather pitch is an exciting project in that the school have come to the town council and said, we believe we can deliver this. The Sports Action Network that have been in place for some time and campaigning for it have worn the school down, have worn the council down, and we've come together and said, actually, we can make this happen. We need to demonstrate community support. We need to raise a little bit of funding in the community. But I think we've got a plan that shows that this time next year we'll be stood here having submitted to the Football Foundation an application to build the pitch, and by October next year we're looking to cut the turf. So really quite ambitious, lots to do over the next year. Tonight is the launch of our all-weather pitch, so please do find out about that over there. It's some really good stuff. Now, the Town Council, we are an ambitious council. Over the last 7-8 years since we formed our vision, we've come together and said, we can't just go after things aimlessly. It's not all about development, it's around connecting the community. So we, as a council, we've got 3 objectives with the community at the heart. The community is also at the front and centre of our mind. So we've got 3 objectives. We've got community, which is all about building the community. There's some words on the page. I encourage you to go next door and understand a bit more around it. We've got community governance. We can't just be a council that does what we think is right. We need to make sure we're doing it right and we're doing it in a proper manner. So community governance is the second objective. And our third one, community growth and sustainable development. That is what tonight's all about. That third objective, Councillor Evans is our Development and Localism Committee Chair. She is coordinating all of these things with many of us on the council supporting her through various different groups. So please do speak to Councillor Evans as well as all the other councillors in the room. Now, community growth, sustainable development. Our vision is ultimately at the heart of that. There are 4 objectives for our vision. To stimulate the town centre, to celebrate the waterfront, to strengthen the community, and to feel part of rain. That's what our projects have been doing over the last few years, and when you get around the room, you'll see all of those. As I said, loads of different projects, really keen to hear your views on how they're being shaped. Now, the Town Council, we're not doing this on our own. We couldn't do it on our own. For a start, it comes up from the community. Over the last few years, thank you very much for your support, for telling us what you want and allowing us to carry on to get to a point tonight where you'll see so many projects so close to development delivery. But we are doing it in partnership with the community and with partners around the room. So I think I need to thank all the partners around the room, all the partners over the last few years. We've got Les Allen in the corner from L&L Diverse Solution. He's acting as our project director on the bottom end of town, the lower 4th Street redevelopment. So everyone should be probably aware the police station is now empty. The police have moved just outside into Anthony, so they're still very well connected with Torpoint. The building is now empty and it's ready, right for redevelopment. Over the next few months we will see that building demolished and we will see the plans for the next stage be scoped. Les has got information around that. It's really quite exciting. It ultimately acts as a stimulus for development at the bottom end of town. The replacement, if we can get a new library, community hub within it, it then means the library moves across and that central site with the car park along with it could also be redeveloped for whatever we want, potentially new parking, town square, where maybe our markets could be in the future. As I say, Les has got information on that with Cornwall Council, with Adam Birchall, also from Cornwall Council. Thank you, sir. He's our project sponsor within Cornwall Council. They've also got some information with Councillor John Tidman on the Defiance Field development, the Northern Fringe, at the top of Torpoint. That is the rugby club. We need to replace that rugby pitch, move it somewhere else. That space could then open up a new development for Cornwall Council to tender, which could include a supermarket. Supermarket will go to open tender. We don't know which one yet. We don't know if there will be a bidder. But all being well, that will be progressing very, very early on in the new year. Anthony Estates, thank you very much to Anthony Estates for your support over the last few years. Next door, you'll hear about our cycle networks. We're really keen to connect Torpoint, the Rain Peninsula, with Anthony and Wilcove and everything in between with bikes. Space connecting up with Anthony Estates land, the Northern Fringe, the housing thereafter. I think the Northern Fringe, there's about 250 homes that we build on the top end, all below the roof line, all below the tree line, rather. So as you come around the top of Torpoint, you don't see it. It stays within our natural built environment, so natural, our built environment without extending too far into the fields. We're really keen that we make sure that we maintain that green route across the top of Torpoint, and making sure we preserve the trees, promote the trees, everything else around that, and build around the trees, and not necessarily knock them all down. So, not all down, cut them all down. So, some exciting stuff there. Thank you also to Huggins Marine. Huggins Marine have got a number of developments around the town, from the garden, from bottom end, from Marine Drive, and Carville Wharf. Those 3-4 developments, along with Harbour Lights, will provide a minimum 100 homes in Torpoint. So suddenly you see, we've been told you need 350 homes, there's 200 there, there's 100 there, there's 30 around the police station, minimum 30. You can see we're very quickly getting up to 350 homes without going too far into our countryside, and within an area that we as a town are happy with. So there's lots happening, there's lots of plans, there's lots more partners that I can list, but I'm conscious I've rambled on enough. So what I would like to do is I would like to invite Mike Redshaw onto the stage, who across the summer has been doing quite an endurance event.
Okay, thanks Gary. Just to introduce myself, I'm Mike Redshaw, local physiotherapist based in the Rain Innovation Hub in Anthony, just for those that don't know me. I've got 3 young boys, without boring you too much. They all participate in the local football clubs, Torpoint Juniors and now Torpoint Youth. I've always been active, really into my health and well-being, and one thing that sort of I probably appreciate more as I've got older is opportunities to exercise. They weren't always there when I was a kid, and I think having access to an all-weather 3G pitch would be awesome for our young people for numerous reasons. And so this summer I did a bike race, and it was a race. It was an unsupported bike race that was just under 1,500 miles. It went around the whole of Brittany into Normandy, chased up through England, and then up through Wales and finished in North Wales in an actually very quirky place called Llandudno. So my aim was to do that with 6 days in the finish time, and I managed to achieve that. It was 6 days, 23 hours, but that's really by the by, really. What I was aiming to achieve with that was to inspire some people to donate. So if you donated, thank you. So I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that donated. We raised an overwhelming amount of money, £1,585, which we can donate the cheque shortly, which was just incredible. And showing that community support and hopefully meaning we can get the project off the ground. And so really that's why I've come down today, is to thank everyone for your donations, your support, and to present the cheque, which I have here. Yeah, so I've got some people from the teams here, so yeah, come. Thank you, guys.
So just to finish off then, neighbourhood plan through the centre, that's all there. I've got the wrong piece of paper, but that's okay. So neighbourhood plan through the centre. There are also around the room, there are feedback sheets. The feedback sheets, we're really keen to capture the feedback on the projects around the room, not the neighbourhood plan. Neighbourhood plan online feedback sheets about what you've seen tonight and what other things you think as a town council we should be doing. Finally then, from tonight, we will be publishing what we have shown tonight in our newsletter. Our next newsletter will come out and tell you a little bit more, again, about what you've seen. And we're going to explore, after some feedback on Facebook today, how we can do a similar event, but do it online. It's going to be a challenge for us, but we're going to have a look at it and see how we can do that over the next few weeks. Over the next 6 weeks. I can see Millie somewhere in the room. I can sense her staring at me, wondering how we're going to pull this together, but we will do something. So thank you, everybody.